What is behind the Hoeflation crisis of Indian women? Well, it is a particularly interesting topic, and therefore it becomes particularly interesting to note its development and synthesis. Now, first we have to define what is the phenomenon of Hoeflation. Using Wiki Dictionary as a source, it is defined as the increase in costs for a man to maintain a relationship with a woman while the quality of the woman continues to decrease. So basically, what it means is that men have to try harder, earn more, look better, while the quality, both moral as well as physical, of women that they wish to attract is going down. Simple enough. Indian women have an especially bad population problem, which no one talks about because of the general male bashing and Pajita worship that goes on here. But hey, let's discuss it with fact-heavy sources now, shall we? Indian women, a realistic look. So usually we are bombarded with the propaganda that the Indian women are goddesses, descended from the heavens themselves, to provide us, the niche Indian male, with a partner, and therefore they deserve the world. Well, this is part of the general Pajita worship which happens in India. But a realistic, fact-driven look at the Indian female as an individual would dictate otherwise. Indian women have a lower real life, economic and social contribution metrics. Indian women enjoy heightened perceived value, different from actual value, particularly in digital and social domains. This slideshow explores the systematic overvaluation of Indian women, also called Hoeflation, in terms of beauty and status, while showing how modern society invisibilizes the young Indian man. Now, female visibility versus male invisibility is a rather solid study of this phenomenon. Over 363 million users in India, dominated by female content creators in lifestyle, beauty, and wellness. Platform reward aesthetics, obviously, because aesthetics bring attention, which bring views, which bring revenue. Women gain social capital by simply being visible. Men are rewarded only for their achievement. A Harvard study from 2023 showed that female content receives 3 times higher algorithmic boost on social media compared to male-led educational content. No wonder you see all these physics walas, young females dancing around rather than teaching physics, because that's what pays the bill. Physics is for loser males to reach, while their future wives are having the time of their lives with a random commerce chat. Sorry guys, but it is what it is. The digital beauty premium. There have been in systematic rise, and explosive even I would say, rise of filters, plastic surgery, skin lightening apps that have distorted real beauty standards. Women use curated photos and ring lights to manufacture status and desirability offline. A 2022 meta study found that 82% of Indian female influencers edit their photos using beauty apps before posting. There is almost a negligible number for the same male users or the same male influencers. While this is essentially done, is given females an unrealistic, totally detached from reality view of femininity and their values, while giving males great inferiority complex when they compare their real life looks to these plastic dolls. And thus, they will settle for less because now they have an inferiority complex and pull up whatever nonsense the girl pulls up with because they have no other option, because they have been so mentally destroyed, so mentally demeaned, so mentally inferiorized for that matter. This further gave the delusional idea of the women. This further gives the women a delusional idea of their value, because now they are getting the princess treatment that they don't deserve. It is like it's a vicious cycle basically. The matrimonial data, the female advantage. The baseline reason that anyone dates and the baseline feature that keeps a society running is matrimony or marriage civil union between two individuals of different genders. Sorry gays, but as far as I know, any member of the queer community right now cannot naturally produce heir, and therefore they are not counted. On Shadi.com, women receive 3 times to 5 times more proposals than men. This is by the 2022 data of Shadi.com itself. The census projection of 2023 says that marriage age Indian men outnumber women by 1.2 crore. You're looking at 10 million incels just sitting. Urban women aged 21 to 30 with a college degree receives 8 times the inbound interest on matrimonial platforms compared to average income men. You can literally just go out, get a BA, and you'll receive 8 times more interest, 8 times more appreciation than an average income working man. Not to mention that you're probably going to ruin yourself because, let's be very frank, rural girls are far better. It is what it is. The male invisibility crisis. As a general rule of thumb, women are grossly overrepresented in the dating scene. This in general is true, but it is fairly bad as of everything it is in India. So let's see at the data. Dating apps report 80% of lives go to top 20% of the men. Majority remain completely unseen and completely underappreciated. Again, Tinder India 2022 data. Bumble India internal data of 2022 shows that 75% of women reject men based on height, job title, or lack of premium lifestyle. Well, there you go about the gurus that preach you that all of these things don't matter. It is love that matters. It is connection that matters. Women aren't going to simply reject you because of your looks, you incel. But data and statistics, they never lie, and they tell you that women are 100% going to 100% going to kick you out because of your height, which again is not in your control. Job title, which again a young man will only be at the bottom of the job hierarchy because he is just there, and a lack of premium lifestyle, which again because of him starting out, he cannot afford that premium lifestyle. Older female generations understood that and they were willing to give their husbands time and effort. The younger ones, they don't. They want what their fathers achieved at 50 to be given to them by a 23-year-old. It's really pathetic. The male users outnumber female 73 on Indian dating platforms. Again, the three proportion of mids are given enormous appreciation, enormous love for simply existing because there is a huge deficit. The media, glamour and deception industry, Bollywood, influencers and TV depict women in luxury settings regardless of socioeconomic background. Average women shown driving Mercedes, vacationing abroad, flaunting elite fashion with no clear profession. Meanwhile, media mocks the average man. Okay, they mock you. They show you as losers, cucks, going to work in metros, although metros are like a great thing, and unless they're portrayed as rich, physically dominant, comedic relief, in which case they're absolutely awesome. Because obviously the Indian media landscape, it constantly works to please the Pajita mind. I will make a video on this later on my second channel. You can go and grab that. But let's work on the educational paradox. Women use degree as status signals in dating marriage. As I told you before, just by simply getting an undergraduate degree, they get 8 times the appreciation, 8 times the interest. This is not true for males. The NSSO survey of 2023 showed that among women with graduate degrees, 61% are not paid employment. So your BA, sorry Jeeta, but your BA is basically useless unless you're earning money, which you're not because no one earns money with a fucking BA these days. Men are expected to use education as a means of provision, obviously. Women use it as a mere social badge. I did a BA or I did an MA, as if that matters these days. Yeah, thank you, Pajita. You read Jane Austen? Wow. Of course, let's move forward. The unrealistic standard for men. Part 1, financial. 2023 Bumble survey showed top deal breakers. Income below 10 lakhs. Lack of own house, no car. So you have to understand these. Most males who use Bumble are young males. They have just gotten started out. It is literally impossible for a man to have his own house or own car. I mean, maybe perhaps a car, maybe a salary of 10 lakh. But even that is bullshit because the majority of Indian men earn below 6 lakh annually. This is according to the Income Tax Department data of 2022. Now, obviously, in 3 years there must have been some increase, but I highly doubt it's about 7 lakhs. Men are expected to provide a lifestyle women cannot provide for themselves. Furthermore, they are expected to provide from scratch what their parents or the women could only provide after years of struggle themselves. It took approximately 10 years for a male of that generation to buy a car. Not to say that the vast overwhelming majority of Indian males cannot buy a car. Around only 8% I believe. But hey, why get probability in the way when your Disney enabled delusions exist? The unrealistic standard for men. Part 2, appearance and height. Of course, I think most people watching my channel, most people watching this slideshow, most people watching this video already know the brutal height bill. 5'10" or above is expected, despite the average Indian male height around being 5 to 5 to 5'8". according to the National Family Health Survey 5. Gym, built body, beard grooming, fashion, all demanded by women who often do not maintain reciprocal standards. If Indian women were themselves healthy and well built, it would be alright, but obviously it is not. Indian women are almost the most unhealthy women in the world. The India Fit report of 2024 states that 59% of Indian women are healthy. That is literally more than half of Indian women. But you have to be a chiseled Greek god in order to date a damn hog. Maybe I'm being a bit too I suppose I'm being a bit too spicy in this one, or a bit too judgmental. But really, dude, Pajita, you really need to hit the gym. Anyway, the pampering of the Indian females. Part 1, government policy. Of course, it's a joke about the Ladli Behan Yojana scheme, but it is what it is. The over 60,000 crores spent annually on girl-targeted schemes. Ladli Yojana, Sukanya Samriddhi, Kanya Sumagla. I have no idea what this fucking means, but I'm pretty sure they're wasting away of dollars, pissing them away. Free cycles, uniform, coaching centers, all gender specific. No equivalent structure benefit exists for men or for boys. In Uttar Pradesh, 2023, 95% of adolescent health scheme fund went to girls. Boys access just 5% of the total allocation. So much for the anti-female Thakurwadi government of Yogi. The Delhi's Ladli scheme, 35,000 is directly transferred to a girl's account upon birth and schooling. Boys get none. And let me be frank with you, Delhi is getting so much labor immigration, you cannot keep giving everyone. The reason the labor is coming to Delhi in obviously huge numbers is because Delhi is basically handing away its citizens' hard-earned money like it's crap. Well, to be honest, they treat you like crap. So anyway, the pampering of the Indian female too, legal and social immunity. The Indian Penal Code, Section 5498A, Domestic Violence Act, often misused without due process. You can just literally just look up the data online. It's not that difficult. The NCRB 2022 showed that over 63,000 cases were withdrawn after being found false or exaggerated. Supreme Court in Rajesh Sharma versus State of Uttar Pradesh 2017 recognizes rising misuse of 498A and ordered family welfare committees, which did not lead to anything because we are in the gynecological republic of Pajitland. And the protection of children against sexual offence misuse. In 2022, over 21% of the closed cases of this act were withdrawn due to consensual relations being misreported. Literally date a girl who's 17 and you're like 17 too, and boom, straight to jail. They'll break your backs, they'll ruin your future because how dare a teenage Indian male have teenage love? Don't you know you're supposed to work 24/7 like a cockroach to get in JEE? It's really pathetic, honestly, when you think about it. No penalties for women filing false cases though, reinforcing a culture of legal impunity. The Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, elevated into a mindset, girls did walls, boys must serve. Father pamper daughters with no boundaries, mother trained serve to some women. Obviously they do. Indian cinema glorifies female tantrums, punishes male assertiveness. 87% of TV commercials in India showed women as the decision maker of the household purchases, although they don't earn shit. The popular shows like Anupama and Bade Achhe Lagte Hain, these are popular Hindi shows, portray the modern Indian man as a disposable, useless component, and unless compliant, absolutely useless and toxic for simply saying that I don't want my 45-year-old wife to be fucking working jobs when I'm earning well. The black pill reality for young men. Housing is affordable. Urban house price to income ratio for median male earner is 11:1. The job crisis, young male youth unemployment stands at 17.3%. Declining male college enrollment in rural areas, 9% drops between 2016 and 2022. Shrinking public sector jobs, rising competition, rising expectations for women, creating a self-defeating loop. No social safety net, no cultural empathy, just expectations to provide or perish. The mental health and social costs obviously are huge. The suicide rate for young Indian males 15 to 39 age is double that of females. National Mental Health Survey, over 60% of male respondents felt their struggles were dismissed because they were. Male loneliness, social invisibility, and rejection are leading contributors to mental health collapse. The what's causing this? Well, of course, everything is causing this, but what's really causing the Hoeflation crisis? Now that we have explained what the Hoeflation crisis really is. The media culture and popular culture with its impact on thinking and perceiving capabilities of young population is well established. Indian media constantly demonizes male without any data while glorifying women characters under the guise of the Devi Hai Aurat narrative peddled by boomers. Dr. Sanjay Srivastav, in 2021, in her JNU thesis, showed that popular cinema uses men as narrative devices to elevate flawed female protagonists. A 2022 Netflix India content analysis by the Observer Research Foundation showed 69% of male roles as violent or absent fathers versus 70% of female leads portrayed as historic despite no clear backstory or merit. You are simply a bad person for existing. Woman is simply good because she exists. And of course, the Devi complex, which has been peddled by boomers in soap media for years at this point. The gendered research like Leela Fernandez argued that feminist cinema has branded traditional female dependence as quote empowerment. What's causing this? Part 2, Government Policies and Incentives. Interestingly, this section of the video is made on after using left-wing sources for research and scholars themselves, while provide great critical insight on what the Indian state pushes on you, because they tend to in these days mostly criticize the Indian state due to the ideological contempt they have for the ruling establishment, which I don't really care about as far as the detail is concerned. The scholar Nivedita Menon noted in 2019 that Indian feminist policy design has skewed towards equity for women without reassessing impacts on boys. The CSDS, the Center for Study of Developing Societies, policy brief of 2021 showed that 87% of general targeting government schemes in India did not include male equivalents. A critique by leftist economic G.N. Dras in 2022 found that male-focused poverty schemes were underfunded by 68% when compared to their female counterparts. Gender budgeting report from the Ministry of Women and Child Development itself routinely ignores male dropout and suicide data. What's causing this? Part 3, social media algorithms. I'm getting a bit tired of talking at this point. Perhaps I will structure my future videos better. The algorithmic bias. Instagram's India's internal report 2023 showed female-led reels had a 260% higher recommendation rate than male-led career advice content. Because of course you have to know when a female influencer is twerking with a short skirt on, while on the other hand if you get any concrete productive advice, that won't be pushed at all. Dr. Nishant Shah of the Digital Asia Hub 2021 argued that social media platforms reward aesthetic and emotional engagement, disadvantaging men posting knowledge or logic-driven content. Like this one, I suppose. Tell me how many times Rebel Girl appeared on your feed this past week. YouTube India, the female influencers in makeup lifestyle earn 2.3x more per view than male educators or commentators. Jesus! Gender studies professor Manisha Desai argues that all films create a soft hierarchy when femininity equals feasibility, masculinity equals expendability. You know it's bad when even the feminists are saying this. What's the conclusion? Well, the conclusion is quite simple. Society inflates the perceived value of women through media, algorithmic biases, and affirmative policies. Meanwhile, Indian men face ragging, rejection, ridicule, and socio-economic exclusion. This isn't misogyny, it is the reality of a gendered imbalance that is unsustainable. These are the bibliographies, you can post and read if you wish. And that's pretty much else, guys. Stuff is bad. The situation Indian men find themselves is horrible, and I wish to make more videos like this in the future. Kindly subscribe if you wish to watch those videos. Thank you very much. The situation Indian men find themselves is horrible, and I wish to make more videos like this in the future. Kindly subscribe if you wish to watch those videos. Thank you very much.